When someone asked what my favorite Christmas movie was, I said Die Hard as a joke. I know it's been told before, but there's a sort of weird truth to it. I realized there are other movies that aren't Christmas, holiday movies, but still revolve around it somehow. Here are 5 good movies to watch for the holidays that barely count. Trading Places is a comedy about a stock trading company in Philadelphia owned by 2 brothers. They have opposing views on nature versus nurture, so they decide to spend what is probably a ton of money on a bet about what will happen if they switch 2 people in opposite circumstances. Winthorpe, their most promising employee, played by Dan Aykroyd, and Valentine, a homeless scammer played by Eddie Murphy. Their lives get turned upside down, hilarity ensues, the bet is called, and their standard wager of $1 exchange. As multimillionaires, our 2 main characters find this more of an insult than anything else.
$1.
And they come up with a plan for revenge that leaves them both rolling in money.
Yeah, it occurs to me that the best way you hurt rich people is by turning them into poor people.
Gremlins is 80s comedy horror at its finest. Set around Christmas, but with basically nothing to do with it except some ornaments and a depressing backstory, this was one of the movies that forced the PG-13 rating into existence. It has a cute Furby as a mascot, and it's not that violent, but it has some scenes that parents would take exception to. Main character Billy has a father who is a struggling inventor and stumbles his way into a magical Chinese junk shop looking for a Christmas present. He finds a Mogwai, the cute Furby thing that the series is known for, but it carries a terrible curse. However, it's very cute. There are 3 rules. Don't expose it to bright light, especially sunlight, which will kill it. Don't expose it to water, which makes it multiply. And don't let it eat after midnight, which makes it evil. Obviously, they accidentally multiply and become evil because this is a movie. Violence ensues, with a Christmas theme.
Just don't bite me. Wait a minute.
LA Confidential is probably the least Christmassy movie on my list, since LA apparently doesn't have winter. It's an interesting one in that it's less about actual crimes and more about internal police politics. If you've ever played LA Noire, you probably know every character on the force, and the main case of the movie is similar to one from the game.
Yes, sir.
Then let me have a word with the chief of police, young folks. The department needs heroes. A shining, honest face the public can admire. I applaud a man with your talent for unwavering justice.
Ed Exley, played by Guy Pearce, is a sort of nerdy-looking cop trying to make his way up the ranks to detective. He has principles, which is a problem in an environment where every cop is crooked in one way or another, and everyone wants him relegated to a desk job. He's also smart and willing to step over his coworkers' metaphorical corpses to get what he wants, if it's justified. On Christmas Eve, he's manning the desk as a bunch of Mexicans get brought in for giving a couple cops bruises earlier in the day. It's a game of drunken telephone.
Yeah, I heard Helenowski lost 6 pints of blood and Brown's in a coma.
They're home with bruises and muscle pulls.
That's not what I heard.
Hey, Stat, you guys hear what those taco vendors did to Helenowski and Brown? Helenowski lost an eye, and they're reading Brown his last rites.
And the entire force goes to beat them up as Ed tries to stop him, and somehow the press gets in with a photographer, and it makes the headline as Bloody Christmas. Ed advises the higher-ups who should be thrown under the bus to make the department look good, with the caveat that he makes detective. When the cop who gets shafted is murdered in an apparent open and shut robbery, Bud White, a thuggish officer with a hatred for people who beat women, played by Russell Crowe, sees holes in the setup. Ironically, Kevin Spacey plays Jack Vincennes, a detective who tried to blackmail the DA for being gay before the guy had his throat slit. Hilarious in hindsight? The 3 cases, as well as the 3 characters, fall in place together as they do their jobs better than some people hoped. I like this because it's very realistic. There's a lot of internal politics. Not all cops get along just because they're in the same department, especially if you screw the partner over. and the action scenes are visceral and intentionally confusing like a firefight would be. Too much tension could mean everyone in the room dying for the wrong reason. Unlike my next pick, The Long Kiss Goodnight, which is hilarious when it comes to some of its action scenes. Gina Davis plays the main character, Samantha Kane, who woke up on a beach one day with no memories and 2 months of pregnancy. 8 years later, she has a solid life and family. Cue car crash, where she recovers memories of her dark past. Cue bad guy seeing her on TV. Turns out she's actually a CIA agent who accidentally took her cover ID too far. Samuel L. Jackson plays the scumbag PI who finally got a lead on her past, unlike who knows how many others. Cue trip to find out what she can, which may or may not have been a bad idea. So obviously this is an action movie, and there are so many scenes that are just over the top and don't make sense. It's like they were trying to do it. Also, her daughter is made of tougher stuff than I was at that age. It's not the best movie ever. It's not so bad it's good. It's just weird. Like they were sitting in a room staring at the script and Sam Jackson kicks down the door and light bulbs go off. Worth watching. Reindeer Games, which I always confuse with Patriot Games, another good movie, opens on dead Santas with shotgun wounds to the chest as Ben Affleck narrates his sad life. Doing 5 years for Grand Theft Auto, Rudy Duncan is originally the cellmate of Nick Cassidy, who gets letters from a girlfriend, Ashley, that he's never actually met through some sort of prison pen pal system, I guess. Convinced that she's a con artist, Rudy questions him about whether or not she's even real. 2 days before both of them are supposed to be released, Nick gets killed in an attempted stabbing of Rudy. As Rudy gets released and sees Ashley standing alone and the other prisoners' families have left, he pretends to be Nick, who she's never seen, and the two of them drive off into the sunset.
You Ashley? I'm Nick.
Only for her brother and his crew to barge in on them, forcing Nick, at gunpoint, to plan a casino robbery that he has no inside knowledge of.
Who are you now?
I'm not him, man. I'm not. She thinks I'm Nick. I'm not him.
Put him in the truck.
Wait a minute. I was in the joint with him. That's how I knew about him and her. I took his place. Look. Okay. I got out. Nick did. I knew about her letters and... Jesus Christ, man. Whatever you want from Nick. I'm not him, okay? I wanted to be.
There are multiple game-changing plot twists, and they're all pretty good and unexpected. A second viewing, however, fills it with holes and makes it a bit convoluted. Nevertheless, it's a great movie and a good end to my list of non-Christmas Christmas movies. Can you think of any that aren't on this list? Leave it in a comment and make sure to share and like this video and subscribe for more. I'll be a bit busy during the next few weeks for reasons that are related to Christmas, but come the new year I'll be back with more videos, including part 2 of Breaking Down Breaking Bad. Until then, I'll see you around.